We're leaving tomorrow, Mom. I sold your beach house. The words didn't sound real at first. They floated in the air, light and careless, like she was talking about returning a dress or canceling a reservation. I sat there, staring at my daughter, waiting for the joke to land. It never did. Her phone was already in her hand, bags half packed, excitement shining in her eyes. She was proud. Proud of what she had done to me. I had spent 40 years building a quiet life by the sea. That house wasn't just wood and walls. It was where I buried grief, where I healed after my husband passed, where every sunrise reminded me I had survived. And now she had sold it. Without asking. Without warning. Without remorse. I wanted to scream, but nothing came out. My chest tightened as I realized something terrifying. She believed she had all the power. She believed I was finished, weak, and dependent. What she didn't know was this: the beach house wasn't just a house. And the decision she made, so confidently and cruelly, had already set something unstoppable in motion. Something that would change her life forever. My daughter hadn't always been this way. Somewhere between convenience and entitlement, she learned to see my sacrifices as resources. My pension paid for her temporary emergencies. My savings funded her once-in-a-lifetime trips. Every time she promised to pay me back, and every time she forgot. When she told me about the vacation, she framed it as freedom. She needed to find herself. She deserved happiness. And apparently, my beach house was the price. She said the paperwork was done. The buyer was eager. We were leaving tomorrow. That night, after she went to sleep, I sat alone at the kitchen table. The house was silent except for the clock ticking, each second louder than the last. I opened the old wooden drawer she never bothered to look inside. Inside were documents she had never read and names she didn't recognize. The beach house had never truly been hers to sell. Legally, strategically, intentionally, it had been protected. Not out of greed, but foresight. I had learned long ago that love without boundaries becomes permission. And tomorrow, she would learn too. The next morning, my daughter woke up confident. She talked about the flight, the hotel, the photos she'd post. She didn't notice me making coffee calmly, not shaking, not crying. She mistook my silence for defeat. When the realtor arrived, her smile froze. The conversation shifted. Papers were rechecked. Calls were made. Faces changed. The buyer waited awkwardly while explanations piled up. Then the truth landed. The house was held in a trust. My name alone controlled it. Any sale without my approval was invalid. Worse, attempting it triggered clauses my lawyer had quietly prepared years ago. Accounts were temporarily frozen. Transfers flagged. Questions raised. My daughter's color drained. Her vacation vanished in real time. The confidence she wore like armor cracked, replaced by panic. She asked me why. Why I never told her. Why I would do this to her. I looked at her and saw not my child, but a mirror of every boundary I had failed to set before. Calmly, gently, I told her the truth. I didn't do this to her. I did this for myself. And consequences, once delayed, always arrive with interest. The beach house was never sold. My daughter didn't go on her trip. She stayed behind, forced to confront the damage she caused and the trust she broke. For the first time, she had to rebuild something instead of spending it. I didn't yell. I didn't punish her. I simply stopped rescuing her from the results of her choices. That silence taught her more than anger ever could. Weeks later, I returned to the beach house alone. I opened the windows and let the ocean air fill every room. I sat where I always had, watching the tide move in and out, steady and patient. Power doesn't always shout. Sometimes it waits. My daughter called one evening. Her voice was different. Quieter. Older. She apologized without asking for anything. That was how I knew the lesson had finally settled. If there's one truth I learned, it's this: love doesn't mean surrender. Protection isn't cruelty. And strength doesn't disappear with age. She sold my beach house thinking I was powerless. What she didn't know was that I had already secured everything that mattered.